Everything I share today is strictly for educational purposes. This is not legal advice, and I am not your attorney. If you are facing any criminal matter, contact a licensed criminal defense attorney in your state immediately. Every single day in America, innocent people walk into a police station to clear their name and walk out in handcuffs, not because they were guilty, not because the evidence was strong, but because they talked, they explained, they cooperated, and every word they said was used to build a case against them. I am going to tell you exactly why staying silent is not just your right. It is your smartest legal move, and I am going to show you the exact words to say when police want to question you. The issue. When police want to talk to you, whether at your door, on the street, or at the station, most people feel they have two choices: talk and look cooperative, or stay silent and look guilty. That is the trap. Because in reality, staying silent is not suspicious. It is constitutional. And talking, even when you are 100% innocent, can and does get people convicted every single year. The legal question here is simple. When can police question you? What are your rights during that questioning? And what happens legally when you choose to speak? The law. The Fifth Amendment to the United States Constitution gives every American the right not to incriminate themselves. In plain English, you cannot be forced to say anything that could be used against you in a criminal case. This right applies whether you are under arrest or not, whether you are at the police station or standing on your front porch, whether the officer is being friendly or aggressive. In 2013, the Supreme Court decided a case called Salinas versus Texas, and this ruling shocked a lot of people. The court said that simply staying silent, without actually invoking your right, can be used against you in some circumstances. Meaning, if an officer asks you a question and you just go quiet without saying anything, a prosecutor can potentially point to that silence as suspicious behavior. So the law requires you to actually say the words. You must invoke your right clearly and out loud. The correct statement is this: I am invoking my right to remain silent. I want to speak with an attorney before answering any questions. Once you say those words, all questioning must stop immediately. If police continue questioning you after that, anything you say may be thrown out in court. Real-world application. Let me give you a real scenario. David is a warehouse worker. One night, money goes missing from his workplace. The next morning, two detectives show up at his house. They are calm. They are friendly. They say they just want to hear his side of the story. They tell him he is not under arrest. They say this will only take a few minutes. David thinks, I have nothing to hide. He invites them in. He makes them coffee. He starts talking. He tells them he was at work that night. He mentions he needed money for a car repair. He says he saw a co-worker near the safe. He corrects himself twice on what time he left the building. Each one of those statements, the financial need, the timeline inconsistency, the mention of the co-worker, becomes a thread detectives pull on. Within a week, David is charged. Not because he was guilty, but because he gave investigators the material to build a case. A defense attorney who heard this story said the same thing every defense attorney says. If David had simply said, I'd like to speak with an attorney before answering questions, that investigation likely goes nowhere. Common mistakes. The first mistake is thinking that innocent people have nothing to fear from talking. Innocence does not protect you from a bad statement. Memory is imperfect, details change, and any inconsistency in your story, even an honest one, looks like a lie to a jury. The second mistake is thinking the police are on your side during questioning. The officer sitting across from you may be completely professional and respectful, but their job in that room is to gather evidence. They are trained in interrogation techniques specifically designed to get people to talk, contradict themselves, and confess. The third mistake is answering just a few questions at the door. You are never legally required to answer questions from police, even at your own home. You can step outside, close the door, and say, "I would like to speak with an attorney before I answer any questions." The fourth mistake is thinking that asking for an attorney makes you look guilty. Judges and juries are not allowed to use your request for an attorney as evidence of guilt. It is your constitutional right. Using it is smart, not suspicious. The fifth mistake is continuing to talk after invoking your rights. Once you say you want an attorney, stop. Do not explain yourself further. Do not add anything. Not one more word about the case until your attorney is present. Your action steps 1. Memorize this sentence right now. I am invoking my right to remain silent and I want an attorney. That is all you need. Practice saying it out loud until it feels natural. 2. Be respectful and calm when you say it. You are not being rude. You are not being difficult. You are exercising a right that exists specifically for moments like this. 3. Do not lie to police. Lying to a federal officer is a separate federal crime. Your choice is not between lying and telling the truth. Your choice is between speaking and staying silent. 4. If police show up at your home, step outside and close the door behind you. Do not invite them in. Without a warrant, they generally cannot enter your home. Your home is protected under the Fourth Amendment. 5. Contact a criminal defense attorney as soon as possible after any police encounter, even if you were not arrested. An attorney can advise you on next steps before the situation escalates. The Constitution gave you this right for a reason, because the founders knew that even innocent people need protection from the power of government. Use that protection. Know your rights before you need them, because by the time you need them, it is often too late to learn. If this helped you understand your rights, share this with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, for any real legal situation, always speak with a licensed attorney in your state.